Welcome to Porch Play Chats, sponsored by the American Association for the Child's Right to Play, or more affectionately titled IPA USA. IPA USA is the USA affiliate of the International Play Association. And as part of our efforts to promote play, we've introduced Porch Play Chats, almost 300 of them available to you on our YouTube channel. And if you, let's see, I think if you follow us, or no, you friend us on Facebook, then magically every Monday a new Porch Play Chat will appear in your feed. So you see this big sticker up on the screen yesterday, even though you're not seeing this until February of 2026. Yesterday, June 11th of 2025, was the International Day of Play. And so children all over the world were engaged in child-led activities, which is how children learn, in child-led activities all day long. And so since you're seeing this in January or February of 2026, it's time to start planning for the June 11th, 2026 International Day of Play. So if you friend us on Facebook or follow us on the YouTube channel, you'll hear lots more information about how to get engaged and let us know what you're doing. I'm Deb Lawrence, and I'm president of IPA USA. And with me on the porch is Pamela Gunther, and she is a friend of Pat Roomba, who everybody knows is the play lady. So it's so nice to meet you, Pamela.
So nice.
Pamela is the founder and CEO of Fit and Fun Playscapes, an international innovator of movement-based products that help people of all ages and abilities lead a healthier lifestyle. Pamela began her career as an architect and planner, and after putting that career on hold, as she and her husband started their family, she got involved in a volunteer project at the children's school, painting, recess games outside, and she fell in love with the colorful results and the reaction of the kids and started to dream about unique theme-based games that can be painted by anyone. And years later, 2 of her children were diagnosed with ADD, and she dove into how she could help children with similar challenges. And these experiences inspired her to launch Fit and Fun Playscapes, an online retailer of indoor and outdoor and portable activities that inspire communities to move, socialize, play, and learn more. She and her team have helped thousands of communities with a variety of needs and create painted play spaces for people of all ages and abilities to enjoy. Oh my goodness. I am so excited about this because today she's going to talk to us about creating inclusive painted play spaces for all to enjoy. So first I need you to describe what a painted playscape is.
Wonderful. And thank you, Deb, for having me on. This is so exciting. I've been following the IPA for so many years, so I'm super honored to be here. So painted play spaces are pretty much what it says. We're taking colorful paint and painting it typically outdoors to create environments that support physical activity, socialization, and just to have fun and play. A lot of interaction. And so using paint and the blacktop or concrete pavement as the canvas is something that we've been doing for over 14 years, and watching it just impact and the joy spread is really a beautiful thing to see.
Wow. And so talk to me about what like, let's say you've been invited to come into a community, or you're choosing to do some open-ended activity in a parking lot or something. I love that you said it's inclusive and for a wide range of abilities. And then before we leave, I have to get you in touch with Maxwell Hart. So Maxwell Hart has just written a book, which I'm actually doing a review for, that'll be released next year, that is on aging playfully. And he's working with senior spaces to try to create these amazing, inclusive environments for seniors to be able to be active as
It,
they age.
it's so important. We do a fair amount of work with active adults and seniors. We've been researching and developing for, oh gosh, it's over 2 years with the seniors specific, and really, Deb, a lot of the work that we do comes from personal experiences and experiences from me and my team and people that just reach out. In working with the seniors, my mom, who's been following, she's my biggest fan, like every mom is, right?
Of course.
She's been following me for a long time, and she recently had developed a few years ago myasthenia gravis. She is
Hmm.
no longer with us, unfortunately. It took her almost 2 years ago. And but one of the things that, so her body was slowing down, but her brain was not. She was just born at the wrong time, I think. Very entrepreneurial brain, constantly going. And so she started to send me ideas and sketches of, well, you could do this at the nursing home, and you could do this in my community, and how about this? I'll try to say this without tearing up, but the day before she passed, she sent me an email and she just unloaded all, and I didn't know she was going to pass the next day. She knew, unloaded all of these ideas that were bottled up inside her. And
Hmm.
we're sending them. And one of my goals is to continue that work.
Hmm.
And so I would love that introduction. That was a very long way of saying that I would love that introduction.
Oh, that is wonderful because that is Maxwell's goal in life, right? This is his mission in life. So I'll get you connected with him.
Please do.
To me a little bit about how if I'm a child and all of a sudden I'm I'm happening upon you, what would I be seeing?
Um, you would be seeing, we have a very unique design style, right? And let me rephrase that a little bit, Deb, if you don't mind. The child goes to a playground, a school playground even, and they see hopscotch and foursquare and it's white lines, right? That is not fit and fun.
Mm-mm.
Square boxes and numbers, that's not engaging to anyone, let alone a child.
Mhm.
Um, we have taken the concept of those outdoor games, hopscotch, foursquare, kickball, hundreds of others, and transformed them into more colorful, engaging activities. We live in an engaging visual world now more than ever. But when I
Mhm.
started 14 years ago, it was really more about, I would I would say it's like the difference between a color TV and a black and white TV,
Mhm.
right? Now that's dated. No one watches TV anymore. But anyway, so I think when a child or a family comes across these unique looking, large, beautiful, colorful games,
Mhm.
they are automatically prone and automatically engaged in the design, even if they don't know how to play any of the games.
Mhm.
We just put a bunch of circles painted different colors down on the ground. People are going to hop, skip, jump, dance, whatever. So
Whatever.
yeah,
Mhm.
and that's all good. So we've I think that is the difference between what is typically known about school games and games at parks where the parking lot striper is putting down games versus fit and fun. It's completely different.
And so the thing that I find interesting, which we use in early childhood programs all the time, is that if things are, and if you think about the Reggio Emilia provocations, those of you who know Reggio Emilia provocations, those provocations are done to draw children in, and almost always they have color, right? So it's that, when I walk into a store, if I can't go into the black and white dress shop because it's just black and white. I'm not drawn to that. Some people are because all they wear are black and white. And that's fine. I'm more colorful that way and I'm drawn to more color. And so when I walk into a store, and we had one whose name I can't remember that's since gone out of business, but it was like jewelry, clothing, handbags, shoes, um, and that sort of thing. And you walked in and all the light blue stuff was together and all the pink stuff was
We love
together. different shades. Oh my God, it was amazing.
The rainbow, yes, of
It
color.
was. And so if I had, a piece of clothing that I needed to match, and I have no visual memory of colors, I would take that piece of clothing and I would just hold it up and find the right spot I needed to go to get something, earrings or a bracelet or something that would match. And so that color aspect is something that draws people to do something that is open-ended for them
Absolutely.
just
And
because you've painted it on the asphalt or the concrete.
right, right. We do live in a highly visual world these days, but we, as people, as humans, we're always gravitated to those senses in those visual senses and color. There's a lot of information, a lot of studies about the impact on physical activity on specifically children. There's data about how it reduces the temperature out on the playground, but it all just comes down to just having more interaction, fun, and joy. It just elevates that whole experience. And then in terms of inclusivity, uh, we very often include other elements and we design our elements a certain way to help children and people of all ages and abilities and engage. For example, I was just last December out in LA with the school district there, and they have an inclusive schools week. And I got to see firsthand about the impact of our stencils and how neurotypical children work with not only just neurodiverse children, but also those with physical disabilities as well. And we definitely have some room for improvement, but they use these games in ways that we never, we were really just observing and just stood back and watched and let the children guide the activities. It was fascinating, Deb, to see how they took hopscotch and changed it up to help the child that had the challenges with them. And that was the goal of that week, to put yourself in those shoes and how do you work together, not distinctly out on the playground. We we work with a great group called Inclusion Matters by Shane's Inspiration. It's a non-for-profit. They do wonderful work with playgrounds, and so we have done some partnerships with them and continue to develop that because that's really important.
Mhm.
We all want to be together, we want to
Yes.
play, talk, and I think it just makes. I don't know many who would disagree. I'm sure some, but it makes for a kinder, more inclusive world just to understand and put your
And
feet.
accepting
And
people's differences, right? Instead of being afraid of them or resenting them or thinking there's something weird about them because they don't do things like you do. So that whole piece of that inclusivity. And I think the other big piece that drew me to when Pat was talking to me about it was it it is the physical movement that we're missing, right? So we're so tied to screens these days,
oh yes,
not getting outside, that children are not developing those physical abilities that they need. That if we can create on those playgrounds that don't have much anymore because people are afraid someone's going to get hurt, if we could create something that draws children in using color that lets them use their imagination and do things however they're going to do them once they get there. What a wonderful gift we're giving.
absolutely. And even yes, primarily children will play out on the blacktop. But we've noticed, like during COVID, a lot of our stencils, we did a lot of work with communities that would take our stencils and create more interactive trailways down the sidewalks, or they
Mhm.
wanted to do something else on the bike trails, the paved bike trails, just to kind of change it up instead of just walking around a little zombie like. And that's really where we saw our adults and seniors together with their children or grandchildren,
Mhm.
moving, laughing, trying to figure it out. And I remember there was a few instances where we saw on social media where a grandparent would took joy and pride in explaining to their child, children think they know everything at a certain age, right? This is how you play hopscotch. Oh, you don't know how to play that? I'm going to show you. And it's just
Yes.
this great moment where a older generation was really valued about a game, because like I said, kids think they know everything about games these days, and a child being so interested, like, oh, and it's puts the conversation and the relationship, and I think, in a different light. So a simple game, non-digital game like hopscotch, can be so intergenerational and binding, like that glue. It's just very cool.
It's just amazing. And so, how do people, and I want you to send me this information, like how do people get these stencils to put, or they do they buy the stencils from you, or do you go and do it? So what's the
Thanks.
process? I
Yeah.
guess I'm asking about.
Sure. The process is as easy as we can make it. So you can buy them on your own. Everything is designed as a do-it-yourselfer. You don't need any professional experience. I put these down, like as you mentioned in my intro, as a volunteer group. So I did paint these before Fit and Fun by hand, and it was a lot of work. So we significantly reduced that amount of work. Get instructions. There's video instructions. We help guide on the paint. We are named as a resource by the CDC to create an environment supportive of physical activity. So we
Mhm,
take that information on how to and apply it to how to plan the games out on an open playground area.
mhm.
But they can buy right on our website, or they can call us, or they can email us. We make it super easy. And then we
And
ship.
so I think one
Mhm.
of the things that if we could, and I'm sure you're already have them on the list, is if we could get school districts to even consider maybe not having that blacktop that gets so hot in the summer, but painting that blacktop with alternative things to do other than play basketball. um, it could continue to allow children that creativity instead of saying, "Oh, that's the only that we can only use that for basketball." And so I'm thinking about ways that and sidewalks in parks. My goodness, think of the fun we could do with sidewalks in
And
parks.
and camps. I have three boys.
Mhm.
Only one or two of them would really participate in basketball or kickball. Can you imagine a kid who's sitting in a desk all day,
All day.
waiting online to kick the ball? And are they going to be called out? Are they going to be made fun of? So to create games, and you hit the nail on the head, Deb, that all kids could enjoy alone or in a group, like a real diverse collection of games. And
Mhm.
so we were over 100 different stencil games. Um, and we take that stencil, they're all reusable, it's all made in the USA. And we manufacture them all here in New York, and we can kit it up with paint, and it's just super easy. It's like all you have to do is do the physical work. Sorry, I can't do that for you. I'm too old for that.
Right, right, right. Exactly. But just think of the volunteers that could come out and do that in parks or on these playgrounds where the PTOs at schools. I mean, they should be like, yes, our kids need to move more.
Oh yeah.
And no, it doesn't need to be structured. It needs to be creative and self-chosen and free of adult interference, that they can just go and do these things.
Exactly.
Um, in those breaks that we hope they have frequently throughout the day. So much better than doing a brain break with a YouTube video in the classroom. If they need to be not again coached by what to do, they need to be allowed the freedom to choose what they're doing.
Exactly.
And
You can provide that palette or that kit for them to choose if you
yes,
want to engage that way or not. That just the impetus to, you don't never want to take away the creativity and imagination, but just something to get them going for the kids that have difficulty starting. So I think that's right on target, Deb.
yeah. And if sometimes um, because screens have become like the go-to thing, right, to reduce boredom. Um, because parents may be afraid of their children going out, and maybe they're right in being afraid for their children to go out. Why can't they do some of these things on the patios in the backyard where it might be fenced in? Why can't why can't as a neighborhood you do a collective where all the parents are engaged, and just the sidewalks in the neighborhood have things that children can do. We always put sidewalk chalk out.
Yeah,
We live in a townhome community, and I always have sidewalk chalk out, and they can do sidewalk chalk wherever they want with anything they want, just out front um, in on the sidewalks or pathways, because sometimes kids just love sidewalk chalk and that's what they want to do.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
They even sell spray chalk where
oh
people
yes.
have come for day events and you can power wash it away.
Hmm.
Deb, can I show a super quick picture of what we're talking about?
I would
I'm
love
just
you
gonna
to.
hold up. I
Oh,
was
okay. You're going to hold up stuff. Okay,
I
great.
just
Oh,
I
look,
wasn't sure. I wasn't prepared to share, but
yeah, that is
fun
amazing.
things like that. We also have indoor and portable options, but that's what we're talking about.
Oh, I'm so glad you showed us a picture so that people get an idea.
Whoops, wrong way.
Yeah, but I mean, I can see images of it. It looks great. And
Thank
so just those ideas of those stencils and the instructions and everything about how to do them, families could do that in their neighborhood.
Yeah,
And
look,
everybody could be like, hey, people, we need to get these kids outside. Look at
exactly. These
that.
are scouts. These are volunteers. These are kids painting.
Uh,
So super easy to do. I didn't want to plug too much, but I wanted to at
no,
least.
but I think it's good that people see that there's an option out there that someone's done all the work for them.
That's exactly.
Um,
There was nothing like this when I was searching, and so me and my friends went out and we just did it by hand.
mhm. Oh my goodness, I can't even imagine. Yeah, I'm way too old for that. But boy, I would think about gathering a group of volunteers who um, have a special interest in doing stuff like that, and then
Yeah.
making it accessible to kids. The other big piece that I wanted to touch on is you said that you have like, I don't know how many games, but lots of games that are traditional games that have been generational from year to year. One of the things that in my college classroom, we always go outside and play. So one of the things that I've learned with the current generation, even though I have a wide age group, I mean, I might have 16-year-olds up to 60-year-olds in a college classroom, which I love so much. Um, what I have found when we go outside, I have, Chinese jump rope, which I'm sure is not the appropriate term, and I have jacks, and I have big jump ropes where they can
Mm-hmm.
do that, whatever that's called. I can't ever remember. They always tell me. And we have, let's see, what else do I take out there? That always sidewalk chalk, and they love that. But they don't know what jacks are.
No,
Never played them before in their lives.
nope.
Don't, and I'm like, I'll teach you. So let's learn. And then, they don't know that we did a play day for the college during Spring Fest this last semester. And so I was out there with a jump rope doing this over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. I went into the jump rope and now we want two jump ropes because we got that. We got it back now. Now we know what to do. And so I mean, it was amazing. You have college kids out there having a great time playing
They
that.
want to play too. They just
Yeah,
forget sometimes that they want
they
to play.
do. And sometimes they don't even know what to do with it. I mean, sometimes the kids were like, I know sidewalk chalk. I can do that. I don't know jacks at all. I said, come over and I'll teach you. And so then we play with jacks, and then we play with Chinese jump rope, and then we play with, and they're like, how come I never saw any of this stuff before? And so it's that intergenerational piece again that can bridge those communication gaps sometimes that we run up against. Oh my goodness, I remember at recess, we played jacks for as long as we could at recess.
I remember that too. Fine motor skills.
Oh my goodness, just
Uh,
absolutely amazing.
and those things are really important still. And
Yes,
as we age as well. Ne-
that's
Never too young to
absolutely
play. Never too young to play.
never too young. And wouldn't it be hysterical to do jacks at, um, to have a jacks area? I'm going to talk to Maxwell about that. But so this has been incredible and a great resource, but I need you to send me your website because I don't think I
Sure.
have that. And then any final thoughts before we close out?
I just final thoughts. I would say we just need to keep playing. It's very tricky time in June of 2025. I'm sure it'll be tricky in January or February of 2026. And I think we touched upon at the end there, we just have to take the time and remember to just play, not to click steps, not to
Mhm.
lose calories, although that's all important for some of us, but just to play.
Just to play. I mean, it's such a stress reducer,
Really.
right? You feel so much better when you're out in nature. And I think the other big piece is the community building and the opportunities that you can provide in your community for that coming together of multi-generational sharing is also an important aspect that will connect us versus disconnect us, which I think is another big challenge that we're currently facing.
I
So,
heartedly agree.
yeah, so hang in right there while I close this out. To learn more about IPA USA, please visit our website at ipausa.org. And until next time, keep on playing.